In this video, I will be explaining you another separation technique, that is TLC, thin layer chromatography. In my previous video, I discussed about the paper chromatography. Now this one is the thin layer chromatography. If we see the principle is almost similar. In this also there is one stationary phase and one mobile phase, and the solute of interest will get partitioned between the stationary and the mobile phase. Now here the stationary phase will be a suitable adsorbent. Now let us discuss how this TLC is prepared. It is usually a glass sheet or plastic sheet or aluminum foil that is coated with a thin layer of adsorbent. Usually silica gel, aluminum oxide or cellulose, they are used as adsorbent. And this layer of adsorbent, it is known as the stationary phase. Now let us say we are preparing TLC of a glass sheet. So what you will be doing, that you will be taking a glass which is rectangular in shape. Now you will be dipping it in a mixture tank, and that mixture tank is containing the slurry of adsorbent along with the binder. So when you dip that glass sheet in the mixture tank, a fine layer will be coated in the on the glass sheet. So you will take it out, wipe out one side of it and allow it to dry, and then you will put it in a oven. So this is how the plates they are prepared, or you can have an ready-made plate in which adsorbent is coated on the aluminum foil. Now let us discuss about the procedure. So first you will be taking the TLC chamber, which is a glass chamber which is covered, and it has to be saturated with the mobile phase. And you will be taking the mobile phase. Mobile phase is generally a solvent, a single solvent you can use, or it can be a combination of solvent depending upon the requirement. And this is the TLC plate. Now in TLC plate, leaving 1 centimeter, you will be spotting the solute of interest with the help of a capillary. And you have to be very careful while spotting that the concentration should be large enough, and secondly this should not spread. Allow it to dry, and then you will introduce it in the TLC chamber. It should be in inclined form, and the solvent should not touch this. It should be touching the rim of this TLC plate, and then allow it to move. Now this solvent, it will rise due to the capillary action. So when it dries, it comes in contact with the solute of interest. It will try to take the solute with itself, while the stationary phase, that is adsorbent, tries to retain it. So depending upon the partitioning coefficient value, separation will take place. And when the solvent it reaches the other end of the plate, you will take out that plate and allow it to dry. You will mark the solvent and then you will allow it to dry, and then you will be spraying some suitable spray reagent. And when the spray reagents they are sprayed, you can get colored spots. If you're not getting, you can even put them in oven, because some spray reagents they give colored complex at elevated temperature, or you can see it under UV light. So just like as I explained in paper chromatography, you will be calculating the RF. RF is the distance which is traveled by the solute, that is this distance divided by the distance. Let us say this is the solvent front. It has covered traveled the distance up to here, so the distance traveled by the solvent front. So that will be the RF value. Now question arises when both the techniques they are almost similar. So why this is required? Firstly, it takes less time and less amount of substance is required, and the plates they can be heated to higher temperature without any damage, and they are able to use strong reagents also for identification, because sometimes what happens when strong reagents they are sprayed, uh, paper cannot tolerate those reagents. And it is simple to use, also cheap, and you if you want to the separated components, if you want to study further for GLC and HPLC, so it is easier to remove it from TLC. So these are the advantages and disadvantages. Firstly, environmental factor, it can affect the result, and TLC plates, they don't have very long stationary faces, and adsorbent which is used, that is also not very environmental friendly. Now, for identification purpose, various spray reagents are used. Like by iodination, you can do the process involve placing the plate in a chamber which is containing the iodine crystal, so there will be color change of the spot. Ninhydrin, it is used in case of amino acids identification, because it will show you a purple spot when it is sprayed to amino acid spot. K-4, it is used to identify reducing agents like glucose, fructose, vitamin C, and others. And alkaline tetraazolene, azolium spot blue, it is used uh, for the study of corticosteroid identification. So there are many spray reagent, for example DMG is also there, even silver nitrate is used for halogens. So many spray reagents are used depending upon the requirement.